Hello everyone, welcome to MentorsMindIAS. Today we are going to discuss one of the most basic topics that is used in a lot of questions in not just UPSC CSAT prelims but also in a lot of other papers, that is LCM, which is the least common multiple. What is LCM? LCM of two or more integers is the smallest positive integer that is completely divisible by those numbers. For example, let us start with something very basic, LCM of 2 and 3. So in order to find the least common multiple, you first are going to write down their multiples, right? 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Three common multiples are 3, 6, 9, 12. The least common multiple in both these multiples is 6. So your LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. Now if you have to find the LCM of say some bigger numbers, 12, 18. So for 12, your multiples are 12, 24, 36, 48 and so on. For 18, 18, 36, 54. The least common multiple in both these is 36. So LCM of 12 and 18 is 36, which is your answer. In case of three numbers also, the same method will apply. That is, you have to list them first the multiples and then say 12, 18, 24. For 12, the multiples are 12, 24, 36, 48, 60 and so on. For 18, 18, 36, 54 and so on. For 24, 24, 48, 72. In case of 18. These multiples were not enough. I had to write more. So here the least common multiple is 72. So 72 is your answer. This method that I used here was basically the brute force method, or you can say listing the multiples method. So in order to find the LCM by the most basic method, what you have to do is list the multiples of those numbers, then find the smallest common multiple out of them. There is also one more term that is usually confused with LCM, that is HCF. It is very different from it. I am going to explain that next. HCF, or which is also known as the greatest common divisor, is the largest positive integer that divides those two or more numbers without leaving a remainder. That is, it is basically the factor of those numbers. For example, if you find the HCF of say two numbers 12, 18, you are going to write the factors of 12. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. 1 and the number itself is the factor of every number. Now 18, 1, 2, 3, 6, 18. So the highest common factor out of these of them is 6. The HCF of 12 and 18 is equal to 6. If you have to find it for say 3 numbers, you have to find the HCF of 3 numbers 10, 35 and 40. So again you are going to write the factors 1, 2, 5, 10. For 35, 1, 5, 7 and 35. For 40, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, 40. So the highest common factor that divides all three of them is 5. That's your answer. HCF of 10, 35, 40 is 5. If I have to draw the comparison between HCF and LCM, HCF. It talks about multiples. It talks about the factors. It talks about the least common multiple. And HCF talks about the highest common factor. When you for LCM, I have talked about one simple method, that is the brute force method of listing the multiple methods. But there are some other methods, some more advanced, or you can say much more used method, that is prime factorization. Or you can say the division method. I will be explaining these in the next parts of this series. In the next part of the series, I will be covering the prime factorization method of finding the LCM. Thanks for watching. Please share and subscribe to the channel.